Hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Wanted to do a quick video, talk a little bit about the drip reservoir. This is something that I've been looking into over the last, I don't know, week or so. A few people have sent me some clips and some posts, and I've been pretty busy, but I've been circling back and kind of doing my own little bit of research here. But yeah, the drip reservoir seems to be the ticket for solidifying and hardening the price of drip. Now, obviously, there's opportunities to make money within the entire ecosystem. There's piggy bank. There's, the farms and the pools that are going to be launching here shortly. There's obviously the faucet, which is like the main hub, the main deal, right? And everything kind of breaks off out of the faucet. But the idea is to make money in these different parts of the ecosystem, obviously make money with the faucet, but also solidify the price of drip, right? Because of course, you can, in my opinion, you could still make a profit if the price of drip drops. Obviously, if you could still make a profit if you are making 365% on your deposit, right? But what if you can make 365% of your deposit and have the price of drip harden and even go up over time, right? Not overnight. It's not going to go up tomorrow. It's not going to go up next week, or maybe not even next month, but over time, if the amount of B&B inside of the reservoir goes up, then there's opportunity for the floor of drip to go up as well. So let's take a quick look at the white paper, and then I'll show you what somebody sent me over on Telegram. And then I think I'm going to see if I can play you a clip of Forex talking about the reservoir. And again, this is just a quick video just to talk a little bit about it. And then as we move forward with this journey and I give you updates, we'll talk about the reservoir more and more. So real quick, the price of drip, by the way, right now is $16.28. So I'm showing you the price there because it's going to relate to something I'm going to show you in a minute here. But here's the white paper. If you haven't seen the white paper, it's it's obviously on the drip website. On page 8, they talk about the reservoir. It says reservoir is the drip network solution for players that want to benefit from non-inflationary yield farming through adding liquidity to drip. By the way, when you go into the reservoir, when you go into the reservoir here, right, you put in B&B. I mean, don't expect to make 1% a day or anything close to that. If you want to make 1% a day, then the faucet is the deal. But you might say, well, if I'm not going to make 1% a day or something, close to that, why get in this? Like I said, I mean, if you want to make 1% a day, you go into the faucet. You go into the reservoir, though, to harden the price of drip and increase the price floor, right, over time. People are talking about drip going to $100. Obviously, it almost doubled that in the all-time high. But even if it doesn't go back to the all-time high, which of course I want it to go back to the all-time high, even further than that, right? People are talking about it going to $1,000. But even if, let's say it doesn't even go to 100, let's say it goes to half of that. Let's say it goes to $50. Right now it's at 16 and change. Like, how cool would it be for it to go to $50, right? So again, the idea here is not to, make 1% a day in the reservoir. The idea here is to solidify the price and increase the price over time so that when you are making 1% a day in the faucet, your drip is, you're getting more bang for your buck, right? Does that make sense? I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense to you, right? So anyway, going back to the white paper, says your players can participate by adding B&B to the reservoir contract to earn passive perpetual B&B rewards. So you do get B&B rewards passively. But again, you're not going to make 1% a day, while also providing locked liquidity to the drip ecosystem. B&B rewards are paid out instantly and through a persisting drip protocol from the dividend pool. The reservoir helps provide long-term price support and an ever-rising potential price floor. Right? You see that? Let me scroll down here a little bit. You see where it's highlighted right here? It says the reservoir helps provide long-term price support and an ever-rising potential price floor as permanently locked liquidity is added to the DRIP token on the DRIP network's swap exchange. Not only are players able to receive perpetual BNB dividends using the reservoir, but the reservoir ensures that the floor of liquidity for DRIP is hardened, providing permanently locked liquidity and long-term price support, right? That's big, right? Long-term price support. Like, you want this to be a short-term deal for you, or you want it to be long-term, right? Obviously, we want this thing to be long-term, right? This here, when you enter the reservoir contract, you are swapping BNB for a token called Drop, the BEP20 token that is held by the reservoir contract and represents your share of the DRIP BNB liquidity pool. Drop will not fluctuate in value and is pegged one-to-one with DRIP BNB, which is DRIP's native liquidity pool token. The amount of drop held by a player determines their share of the dividends that they will receive from the reservoir's instant and daily dividend pools. When you swap BNB for drop and vice versa, there is a 10% tax that is used to pay BNB rewards to people in the reservoir and lock liquidity in the DRIP BNB liquidity pool. Let me scroll a little bit down. 2% of the BNB used to buy drop is immediately distributed to people in the reservoir. 5% goes into the reservoir pool, which pays out 2% of its balance every day to people in the reservoir. And 3% is permanently locked in the DRIP liquidity pool. Your share of the reservoir will fluctuate over time, decreasing as more drop are purchased by other players. You can always increase your share by compounding or purchasing more drop. We've also implemented a 1% fee on DRIP BNB swaps, and this fee goes into the reservoir dividend pool that is distributed daily proportional to players' drops holdings. This creates an additional stream of BNB into the reservoir contract, which is not dependent on more people buying drop by entering the reservoir. So I know that's a lot, and you might have to read this yourself, and I definitely want to encourage you to read it yourself. If you got anything from that, right? You got, if out of these 4 or 5 long paragraphs, you got anything, here's what I want to highlight, right? Takeaway here is long-term price support. And then over here, the reservoir helps provide long-term price support and an ever-rising potential price floor, okay? That's what you want. You want an ever-rising potential price floor, AKA price of DRIP going up, right? So, yeah. The idea here is to go into the reservoir, and get you some drops, right? So let me show you this here real quick. Somebody sent me this over Telegram, and I just kind of copied and pasted it over here just so I can focus in on it and use it for this video. So here, this seems to be the formula. Now again, unless you know otherwise, post it down in the comments, right? But this seems to be, a couple of people have sent me something to this effect. I'm not really a big math formula person, but it makes sense to me, right? So it says here, a very simple way to figure out let me start again. A very simple way to figure out reservoir support, BNB value in a reservoir divided by circulating supply of DRIP. You can find the BNB value by taking the contract balance number on the fountain page multiplied by current BNB price, then divide by DRIP supply, also found on the fountain page. This number is approximate, but will show our current price floor. So essentially how that works out is the contract balance, again, and by the time you watch this video, these numbers might change a little bit, but currently this is just about where it's at. The current contract balance is 8,388 times the current BNB price, which is $327, divided by the circulating DRIP supply, which is 165,479. If you do the calculation there, it equals $16.61, which is roughly, give or take, the current price DRIP right now, right? $16.30. Okay, so again, it's roughly the amount. So if the DRIP supply goes up, the price can still go down a bit, but the bigger the BNB value in the reservoir, aka more drop, the harder it is to lower the price. And isn't that what we want? We want it we want the price to be hardened and, with pressure to go up, right? We don't want it to lower. So essentially what it is, all that just to say that the more BNB that goes into the reservoir, the harder it is to lower the price, right? So the long-term play, right, is to support the reservoir, right? That's what we want to do, is we want to support the reservoir. So you go here, the reservoir, and again, I'm just kind of introducing this. I'm talking about it as we get more and more intel and we do updates on drip. We talk about the faucet, we talk about the drip price. We're obviously going to start talking about the reservoir a lot more and giving you more insight on that. But as you can see here, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to show you how. Again, I haven't formulated my strategy just yet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, take some time and think about what I'm going to do here to, go into the reservoir. But it's pretty simple. You essentially go right here. It's pretty straightforward. Let's say I want to put in 1 BNB. That'll get me 0.0829 drops, which, by the way, I can pull those drops out. Right? You can. I believe you can pull the drops out. But if you're going to go in here, you don't want to pull those drops out, right away. You want to keep it in there to grow the BNB inside of the reservoir, right? And you just click on buy right here. So give me 1 second. Let me just freeze my screen real quick. Okay. So once that confirms, right, you guys know how the BSC works. Sometimes it's a little bit congested. There you go. The buy is successful, right? So it's simple. Again, now you don't have to put 1 BNB. Put in what you feel like you can to support the platform, support drip, right? Maybe it's 0.1 BNB, maybe it's 0.25 BNB, maybe it's half a BNB, and then put yourself on some type of system where you can put in X amount of BNB every. You might want to do it every day, or maybe every week. I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody's at a different place. There's people that are, there's whales that are in this platform that can do some more. Then there's, people that maybe can do less. Figure out what you can do and then do it, right? Now you might sit there and say, well, if I just buy drip, won't that support the price? Yes, right? If I go and lock up my drip in the faucet, won't that help the price as well? Yes. Well, why not buy drip, go into the faucet, support the reservoir, and just do it all, right? Because again, you want this platform to last for a long, long time. The longer this platform can last, the more you can accumulate, the more wealth you can have. You can live off this platform. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? But you definitely want to support the platform that's paying you. So again, I'll talk about this more. I just wanted to introduce this and give you some food for thought, and then we'll talk about this more on future videos. But check out Forex. I'm going to see if I can link this video here that someone sent me, and it's basically Forex talking about the reservoir, right? All right, guys. Again, if you want to check this out, I will leave a link down below. If you want to jump into the faucet and use my buddy address, I'll leave that as well down below. Follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And again, do your own research, only put in risk capital into anything in crypto, because again, with opportunities to make big gains comes high risk. That's just the way it is. All right, guys, so check out this video and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
George, can I ask you a technical question real quick?
Yeah,
I'll leave you alone. Hey, I saw somebody put something on the channel yesterday, I don't know who it was, that if we get back into Reservoir, we'll increase the price of drip. Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
So
I put 0.2 BNB in there yesterday, and I haven't seen anything. So does it take a while for me to start earning deals?
You're going to need to put more than that, Mike.
Well, I know. I didn't
look,
say
listen.
you were saying if everybody put money back into Reservoir that's in drip, we will raise the price.
Yeah, so let me just explain how the reservoir works real quick, okay?
Thank you.
Because, I think it's important. So when someone deposits into the reservoir, you're depositing B&B. Half of the B&B that you deposit then gets used on the contract to buy drip from the native decks. It then takes half the B&B and half the drip, or at this point, all the B&B and all the drip, and pairs it in the liquidity pool, right? The native decks liquidity pool. And now when you're in the reservoir, you get 1% of every swap that takes place paid out to you, meaning your share. So if you own 10% of the reservoir, when someone does a swap, there's a 1% liquidity provider fee on that swap, and you'll get 10% of that fee. That fee is paid out to you, or rewards in general in the reservoir are paid out to you in B&B. So when you deposit B&B into the reservoir, half that B&B is used to buy drip, and then there's a tax scheme in the reservoir where 2% of the so there's a 10% tax when you deposit B&B. 2% of that is permanently locked in the liquidity pool. This creates a higher price floor for drip, a deeper liquidity pool for drip, and helps to create price stability. Right. There's another 3% which gets immediately distributed to people that are already in the reservoir, and the rest of the 10% goes into a vault that pays out its a percentage of its balance every day. Now, this 1% that's taken out of each swap goes into this vault, and what this means is it's a form of time-weighted liquidity provider fees. So, unlike other protocols where you are a liquidity provider, say on PancakeSwap, you provide liquidity. Now, there's a 3% fee on each transaction, and the percentage that you get paid of this 3% is dependent on the size of the liquidity pool that you make up. But it's a flat 3% fee, and that's distributed with no weighting, just a flat rate every time. With the reservoir, there's a time weighting element to it. So the longer you're a liquidity provider in the reservoir, the greater a share of this 1% swapping fee that you'll get every time. And this reward is allocated to you in drops, right? Drops are the LP tokens on the DEX. And then when you go to withdraw from the reservoir, it's going to take those drops. It's going to unpair them, giving you drip and B&B, and then it's going to sell those drip to get all B&B and then pay you out in B&B. So it's a system where you deposit B&B and you get rewards in B&B, but due to the tax system, it's always leaving some of that B&B in the liquidity pool no matter what. So when you deposit, you're helping the price, you're helping provide liquidity and stability, and then even when you withdraw, yes, it's going to cause some sell pressure on the price, but due to the tax structure, you're always leaving something in there, right? And at the end of the day, if everybody was to sell and everybody was to go out of the reservoir, there would still be a significant amount of capital in there that's locked in there forever, and that's how you have a price floor, right? And an ever increasing price floor. The more capital that goes in there, the more B&B, when all is said and done, if everybody was to remove it, gets left in there due to the tax structure, and this means a higher price floor every time. So there's a practical floor price to drip that a drip could not go under, and it's due to this these locking mechanics that are locking B&B in there.
Gotcha.